Welcome to the Ringmasters Podcast, Chicago's most trusted source to educate, guide, and give you tips and advice for choosing and purchasing the right diamonds, custom engagement rings, and wedding bands. Here's our expert design chief, Kurosh Daneshkar, and our diamond experts, Maury Taffershy and Terry Hanley. This podcast is brought to you by Chicago's own Wedding Bands and Company, where we believe marriage is too important for ordinary jewelry.
One of the things you guys have to consider is to ask a father of the bride permission. And that's very traditional. My advice, as somebody done this, is absolutely necessary. We have to see the situation. If the father is not in her life, you should see who's next in. Is it her mom? Is her brother? That's what I did. I asked my brother-in-law and my mother-in-law to come to a breakfast for brunch, and we sat and we had a breakfast, and I think they were feeling something first, and I didn't rush to it from the beginning. I just started a little bit of conversation about how happy I am with their daughter and how she amazing is and changed, and I feel so good about everything. And after I told everything, and I also talked about how I feel about their family and about her brother. After I said all of this thing, and I said I want to add something, and I said I want to ask you guys if you give me permission to ask her, and then she started crying. So I think this is make you guys a true gentleman to go ahead and ask, and you have to see how your relationship is with her father. So try to, maybe you're a little bit worried about this, but you try to be make it very more softer, and just casually ask them to come out with you, go have a coffee or drink, and then you start talking a conversation, and then you're gonna bring it up, and that's absolutely make a credibility for you and make him so proud. And this is as a father, I look forward to that day, and it's important for me. And so
yeah, it is always an interesting conversation. And through the many years of doing this, I certainly have come across enough couples, enough guys that have pondered this as to needing to do it, not to do it, as to how do I do it, all that kind of good stuff. So it is, everybody has a different relationship. Every family dynamics is very, very different. So by this point of the game, you more than likely are very familiar with her family's dynamics and her parents. And you've got to use a little bit of your judgment on it. If nothing more, it's just simply an expression of respect to her family, to her parents, to her family in general. And I think that's the most important thing. You're going to live with these people for the rest of your lives, my friends. So, you want to set this, you want to start off on the right foot, and it's always a terrific way to do it. I only have two minor stories of where the father said no, but neither situation was it no. It was always no, just not yet. I don't think you're ready yet. You're too young, or whatever it might be. So, but generally the family's parents, the father's parents, whomever, totally appreciate it and respect it. So it's a good step, and something that if you feel the need to do it, I strongly recommend you step up and do it. Simple as that.
Very good. Thank you. Maury, do you have any memory or something you can add to this?
Yeah, being 15 years in this business, pretty much you have a lot of memories. But then, again, as Terry said, you all come back to respect. That you're going to respect the tradition, you're going to respect it, her family, and then I've had a guy, this guy about 2-3 years ago, he said, I'm going to take my father-in-law tonight and get him drunk and get the yes. And I said, make sure you don't do that and he said, I'm going to record it. So he said yes. I said, well, you have any doubts? And he said, no, I was just kidding. But then make sure they're sober, and then I'm sure they are. But then it all comes back in the respect that you're doing it to your partner, no more than you're doing it to her family or his family. So, no, I've done it in my side, in my culture, but mine is a little bit different. I'm Persian, and I had to go, that's part of the tradition. You go with your mom. You go to the people's family, to the parents and talk to them and get their permission while they're there. I mean, they're sitting right next to you. It's not like you're doing it behind the back. So that's more intense. That's more intense. Yeah,
that's a long time
That's a long time ago. That's
so
20,
right now, I don't
23
think
years
it's
ago.
like that because
No.
my niece, they already had dates and then they come say, hey, Dad, he's going to come ask you.
Yeah. I mean, I had this couple. That was the only couple in the last 15 years in this business that they knew each other for less than 24 hours. So they were married. But then other than that, they usually, know each other. They go out to, probably about 6 months to a year. And most of my clients, they're living together for at least a couple of years. I guess that's the way that they get to know each other. So by that point, as Terry said, once you're going to pop this question, you already know the answer. It's just, due diligence out of respect. Yes.
Respect. Very good. So in part of this part is coming up is, in this area is coming up, what is going to happen if you open the conversation and in some situation they offer you a diamond or engagement ring was in the family.
A family piece.
Piece, which it could be great, a way to start. I want to say as a designer, it is two-sided of it. First of all, it's as far as it's going to help you in finance situation. So because you don't have to purchase a diamond and you are getting something and you can take that to a jeweler or designer and build it or size it and make sure everything's good. But you have to understand this. I had customer, they receive a 2-carat beautiful diamond, which she, was from the grandma and it was something beautiful, and they receive in the family, and they right now that is going to be great for them to use that. And I had people, they receive a 0.5-carat diamond, which was full of inclusion and no sparkle. Obviously, we can't do anything with it. So I want to see this right here. If you invest on the diamond and you're getting a good diamond, which is going to be a beautiful, high quality GIA and design wise, and you keep it for years in your family, someday, if this diamond is a good quality, someone else, including your son, your future nieces and nephew, can use it. So no other purchases in your life is like that. If you're buying a car, is 10 years is gone, you can't do that. Maybe your son wants to, you offer it to your son and says, I'm not gonna drive this old car anymore. So, but jewelry piece, if you buy a good diamond, it is gonna become a family heirloom, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. I mean, and the reality is too, facing the reality of the jewelry in general. This is about sentiment. Everything is generally given for an event, for a purpose, for something monumental in everybody's lives. A engagement, a wedding, a birth of a child, so on and so forth. All of it's about sentiment. So, when your great-grandmother's ring that went to your mother, your grandmother, and then to your mother, and now it's coming to you. I mean, that's cool stuff. Now, yes, inevitably, over the years, over the generations, the engagement rings that our grandmothers, your grandmothers received from your grandfathers probably were not of the caliber or the size or anywhere within the realm of what you are seeing your friends doing. So there is always that. And it is cool, always, I think, to integrate it into. I had one client not long ago where they had inherited one. And it was a much older stone from probably the 1920s, a very old European cut. But it was a good size stone. So we literally took and had the stone recut, and it came out absolutely spectacular. And they were thrilled. And still wear it proudly and always go on about how cool it was that this was their great grandmother's stone, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot to be said for it. Don't limit yourself though. Your parents, your grandparents, your great grandparents would want you to be happy with what you're wearing. So sometimes maybe take a piece like that and integrate it into the design, or integrate it into something else, a nice pendant or something else. Mm-hmm. Don't limit yourself, because this is your ring, this is your engagement, this is your marriage, this is your life. So do what's right for you.
Actually, I want to add this. Recently, I had a project which I designed a marquee ring with baguette on the side, and this ring was amazing. We were in the process, this is 2 weeks ago, and we were in the process of designing. He picked perfect diamond, E color, and beautiful marquee 2 carat with a baguette on the side, platinum mounting. Everything was done, designing, production, and he decided to, when he doing that process, also ask a family permission. He told me, after this I'm gonna go ask your father. And then next meeting, when he came to see a wax model, he told me, there is a ring from family they give me, and they said this is from her mom, and she we can use those diamonds. So right away I look at those diamonds. All those diamonds, they were not too old cut, but everything was J color, like very, very yellow. And I have everything in the design F color. So, and he says, can we cooperate one of these diamonds? And I said, well, if you really want to do that, what we can do, we can take one of those small diamonds and embed it inside the ring. Right. So usually I do that, and if we engrave, for example, love, instead of O, we put a small diamond stone, and that stone could be from that family heirloom, and that make this piece amazing.
A connection.
It
gives it a connection.
So he really liked the idea. We took one of the diamond and we used it on the design. And one thing, it's always I love to see those family heirloom. So if they offer you, just bring it and check with your jeweler and ask them how is the quality. One of the best way you can understand where you at, you can ask them, if I want to give this ring to you, how much credit I can get. Because this way, if they're going to say, hey, I'm not interested, this is not something we can do, then that's not something you want to
present.
And if you hear they're going to say, yeah, I'm not bad, I can give you a couple thousand. So right there, if they're buying it for a couple thousand, it has a more value if you want to purchase it. So that's what we can use in your judgment. So, Maury, go ahead. I know you had some experience with the diamond from family.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell my clients that the most important thing is you have to have the piece in your hand. Then we're going to talk about it, because it has happened to me in the past that the client said, my grandmother said, I'm going to give you my mom's ring, so she's going to be great grandma's. So for the last 15, 20 years, the kid think that he thinks that it's like a 2-carat diamond,
right?
But then he keeps hearing it, and then when the time arrives, he said, okay, my grandma said I'm going to give it to you. I said, okay, go get it. And then we already designed the ring. He said, I like this ring, I want the head to be like this, and then it's going to be in platinum. And then the father shipped the ring from Seattle, Washington, and then I opened the package and it said 0.25. It's a 1/4-carat diamond. There's nothing wrong with it, but that was quite a big size for 1930 or 1940. But then that was a big diamond then.
Right.
I mean, again, as Corey said, we can use it and incorporate it in the diamond, use it as one of the side diamonds if the color clarity is okay to match it, and the rest of it we're going to supply it. But then it's always, we build the ring around the center stone. So we have to know the shape, color, clarity, size. Then we go from there. We give you all the advices that how we're going to approach the whole thing.
I had a client, he brought the diamond engagement and he said this was her grandmother ring in the family, her grandmother, and she loved this ring, she loved this diamond, and it's 2 carat. He was excited and he took it out and right away told him this is too big for him, and he was
he's
"Oh,
freaking
wow."
out.
Well,
But-
again, you never know in history when that was changed out. One of the uncles or somebody needed a little cash and took it to the jeweler and said, "Here,
Yeah.
let's trade this out. Put
So,
something."
but
else in."
again, we use as a positive. We measure the diameter of the diamond.
Yeah.
We try to get exact similar real diamond,
Look,
and then
yeah.
of course he's gonna tell the story
Yeah,
after.
yeah.
So always,
always interesting.
yeah, always. It's if you get offered through that conversation when you go to ask a family, here you are. If one of the benefit, if you go ask a family, maybe you get the diamond.
I had also another customer in the totally opposite direction that he said he brought a stone. He had the stone and he said that this is my grandmother's ring. And I look at it, I said, are you kidding me? That's not your grandmother's diamond. He goes, no, I didn't know it either. It was given to my mom. My mom lost it, but the insurance value for it was high. So my mom went and bought this one to replace it. It was a 3.76 round diamond. And then the guy keeps telling me, Maury, are you sure if I give this, my fiance is going to be okay with it? I say, if she's not okay with it, give it to me. This is almost a 4 carat diamond. What are you talking about?
I mean, that's considerable.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And it came a beautiful, beautiful ring.
And in this come in both sides. So you also can open a conversation with your mom, your aunt, your grandma, and then you see pieces that are coming, and they're gonna tell you, you're my favorite grandchild, and here you are, and we hope that diamond is a real diamond, it's not CZ, and it's a good quality. Why not? You can use it. That's exactly why people buy diamond, because
the stability. It will always be what it is.
And we know the stability of the price be controlled by De Beers. De Beers hold the market and make sure the diamond is not going to be flood to the street, and make sure there is always demand and production. They always match, and that's they never going to, you buy diamond and say, they found a mine of diamond and there's going to be 1,000 of them in the market, and your diamond not going to have value. So that's always, you see a market in last 50 years always is rising and going in very slow rate, but always rising. Never, you're never going to find a diamond that went down, even when it was any recession. So
I think, again, I don't think so much of this is the financial end of it. I think it is the sentimental aspect of it. Do keep in mind too that the whole thing of marriage and weddings and all of what you're going through, all of what you're contemplating doing, it's all about getting that family support. It's all about them stepping up and watching the two of you publicly declare your vows to one another. This is all about the sentiment. So as to if the ring is of caliber or something you want to use, something you want to wear, something that you can picture her wearing 40 years from now, 50 years from now, because it inevitably happens, and that she's going to still be comfortable with it at that point, then it's definitely worth considering. But again, you got to do what's right for you. So kind of, in consideration of all of this, and in terms of our conversation regarding inheriting family pieces coming your way, being offered to you for the engagement process and all. So once you've kind of asked the folks or someone within the family, and they kind of step up and put something in front of you, and then you've got to make those decisions. Again, you've been kind of watching her and watching what catches her attention in terms of styling and things along those lines. You have been probably hearing about her friends' rings and what she tends to be gravitating towards, look-wise, design-wise. So then you have to kind of make some decisions as to, number one, is what is being offered to you something that's going to work within the criteria of kind of what you think she's thinking. And if so, that's terrific. And then you can kind of begin your steps in terms of looking at what that item is and what that item isn't. Again, those are decisions that you've got to make, and you've got to make about her and about what's going to be appreciated. Looking, considering what it is, again, I wouldn't be so much focused on the value of it as much as the sentiment in what's important to you and what you think will be important to her. We live in a very different world today than our grandparents did or our parents did, in terms of professional double income households and things like that. It's just a very different market than it was 30 years ago or 50 years ago. And so your standards are very different than what your folks were. So, the sentiment is important. There's always ways for us to work these family pieces into pieces. If it is something of caliber, then definitely consider it. Definitely contemplate the possibilities of utilizing it. Don't feel forced to, though. Make those decisions on your own. But we can always kind of work with them, look at them, and play with them, and kind of walk you through the process. What in reality is this, and what in reality can be done with this. And you have to ask the question, is this in reality something she is going to love and cherish and want to wear and pass down to your children? Because again, that's what this is all about.
One other thing in those conversations when you go to, as a family, permission is going to come out is a family jeweler.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
You are going to hear that, hey son, congrats, this is perfect. Let me put you in touch with our family jeweler, and he's going to take care of you. We're going to him 20 years. I bought the ring there, and it is nice if you're going to bring that kind of romantic. Her parents bought the diamond ring from that person, and they're married together. They had good experience. You go back. I most definitely, I want to say, give a chance to that person.
Right. Well, and again, respect out of her family.
Her family.
And to her family.
To her family.
Yeah.
But
consider it.
Consider it. And I definitely is worth interviewing, that jeweler, visiting that jeweler and talking to them, see your option. But we're going to expand in one of the episode how you pick your jeweler, because that's very important. One of the things I want to say here is I always make that example. When I was in high school, I thought my mom is the best cook in the world because she cooked and taste was so good. And then after I came to the States to travel around the world, I said, no, there's many good better cook than my mom.
Don't tell your mother that.
Oh, no, my mom should. God bless her. So,
God bless her.
God bless her. But it is true. So you have to try, go other people and see what it is. So that's a good thing to have. Your family jeweler from your side or her family jeweler. But this is the jeweler. It has to be like a doctor or something you need in your life. Referral. So you have to build that relationship to somebody you can trust, which we're gonna go through it, and then you make that connection. Then you have someone you can tell them, hey, come here. This is way more they offer and more value they offer, and we explain who to choose and consider many things.
Yeah, I mean, again, it goes back to all the relationship and the respect. And luckily, I always tell my clients that, with due diligence, when you come to me, I'm not going to tell you do not go to any other jeweler. This is a free world. You can do whatever you want. But then, because of all the relationships I've had with them in the last 15 years, so I would say probably about 3 out of 4. Luckily, thank God, they come back to me and they respect that, and I respect it. But again, it's all about the information that you get and where you feel comfortable. There's tons of information out there. It could be online, you could be walking to any stores. They're going to feed you with all this information, and you're not being familiar with this kind of information. You're very professional in your line of duty and whatever you do, but in this, we're going to be the expert. So we will feed you, and then we'll put you out there to do your due diligence, search, and we'll be happy, to guide you through the right direction.
Considering this, I want to tell all the listener, there was a survey on Knot website, which 80% of guys didn't know anything about engagement ring and diamond when they're purchasing. 20% previously bought them, so you get them. They already went through this, or they know a little bit. So this is something you need to learn. As I said in the other episode, what you need to do is you get between 40% to 70%. That's it, and then you can make decision. Here we gonna finish. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. I appreciate that we're gonna try to bring value. We respect your time. At the same time, I hope you enjoy and entertain. We love to hear from you, and we hope we can visit you in our store and hear our sponsor, Wedding Bands Company. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Have a good one.
This podcast is brought to you by Chicago's own Wedding Bands and Company, where we believe marriage is too important for ordinary jewelry.